So I was just minding my own business, playing Gang Beasts and having a great time. I was playing on this map, and I had been throwing these kids in the grind for a while. They stood no chance. But then it just suddenly hit me. Out of the blue. I realized something about Gang Beasts. Something horrible. Something I maybe wasn't supposed to realize. The maps are connected, but not the way you think. You see, Gang Beast characters, they become burgers. You don't follow? I can see why, but just humor me for a second. Let me explain. This guy right here is basically the Doofenshmirtz of Gang Beasts. You can see his face many places in the game, for example, on Billboard. This guy right here is the puppet master of Beef City, and I'm here to expose him. I want to ask you a question. Do you know what happens after you get caught in the grind? No? Okay, I'll tell you. Well, naturally when you get dragged into the dark abyss by the sharp teeth of the grind, you become a clump of meat. A pile of meat goo. Does this sound familiar? It should, because if you go to this map, you can see chunks of meat falling from above. Guess what? It's the Gang Beast characters. It's obvious. It's been all this time. How have I not seen this sooner? When you get stuck in the grind, you basically end up like one of these meat balls. Imagine how many Gang Beast characters it takes to make one of these long ones right here. Probably 5, 10, 15, even more. You get stuffed into boxes and barrels and stored into one of these containers. The trucks then drive you all the way to the incinerator where the boxes and barrels rolls in right here. And then you fall down into the fire pit where you get cooked. Then you get stuffed into one of these containers again, loaded onto the train, and the train's gonna take you over the mountain, down to the pier, where your container gets carried off by one of the cranes. You get lowered onto the boat trawler, and the trawler is gonna drive all the way to the map wheel. And if you haven't guessed it yet, yes, you end up as one of these burgers. So these burgers that you're playing around in is really made up of grinded and cooked Gang Beast characters. Or if you're really unlucky, you'll end up as this hot dog right here. And no one wants to be a hot dog. Oh yeah, and guess who controls everything? It's this guy. In the alley before you go into a game, there is a poster on the wall of this guy, right here. I think this is Doofenshmirtz's right hand. He does all the dirty work, and Doofenshmirtz is basically just a rich guy at the top. He doesn't get his hands dirty, he's the one pointing the gun. But this guy, he pulls the trigger. I might be overthinking a little bit, but I do think this is a pretty reliable story. Leave a comment what you think is the whole story. Like, where does it start? Where does it end? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao.